What's up, Applied English? Figured I would go ahead and just provide a little video demonstration on how to revise Black history essays. This is especially true for third hour, because I know we never got around to this step in class last week. I also figured this would be helpful just to deal out to all of my students as a friendly reminder. Also, it might be helpful for those of you who may have missed some class last week and could just use this demonstration on how to do it. Right now, I'm actually viewing our course in Schoology as Mikael. Wanted to thank Mikael for letting me do this. He allowed me to use his essay as an example in class, and so now I'm just using it again real quickly in this demonstration on how to make revisions. One thing you'll notice that I added into Schoology is a black folder at the top of our course titled Black History Essay Materials. As it says, please use this folder to access any materials you may need for revising your Black history essay. Notice that the first thing there is how to revise your essay. That is this video, so you might be watching this by clicking on it right here, or you might be watching the YouTube link that I sent out. Just know that you can rewatch this video here if you ever need. And then from there, you'll see three things. There's your original Black History essay final draft, a really easy way to click into it right here. I'll do that in just a moment. I've also included our revising and editing checklist right here. So one of the big ways that a lot of you can improve your score in your Black history essay is simply to edit, go through, do some proofreading, fix spelling, fix sentence structure, fix punctuation, those kinds of things. That checklist might be really helpful for guiding yourself through the proofreading process, besides any comments of mine that you decide to take a look at. And then lastly, Black history essay revisions is where you can turn in your revised copy. So I'm going to pretend like I'm Mikael right here, going through the whole process. I'm going to start by clicking into my final draft. And your view is probably going to look pretty similar to this. You'll just see yours right there, along with your score. Mikael did just fine. A 60 is not a bad score at all, compared to what a lot of my students did on this essay. There were some kind of big problems that I had to point out in my commenting. You guys should all know that I'm not the easiest essay grader in the world. So it's really hard to earn a really high score right off the bat without revising on an essay like this. However, there are definitely some big issues that I really want my students to resolve as a way to grow in your writing skills. For Mikael to take a look at my comments, he can either click on his score or his document. Either way is fine. And there it is, all about Ruby Bridges. And the first thing we see right here is a bunch of blue speech bubbles. Those are my comments, both positives and negatives. Positives are things that are looking really good. I tried to point out all the positives I could in all the essays I've graded. I'm also trying to point out areas that can be improved. So you'll want to read through all of my comments to see how you can improve in your essay, and again, revise for a higher grade. You'll also notice there are two other layers on the right. So we can turn off the blue layer if we want. I don't know why we'd want to. The red layer is similarity. Now, Mikael had a very low similarity percentage, which is great. It means that there wasn't a whole lot within his essay that was improperly quoted or cited. I did point out maybe a couple of spots in his that need to be tweaked a bit. Some of you have really high numbers and have to do a lot of work with re-quoting or paraphrasing or properly citing information. The purple layer, which can also be turned off, is automatic grammar checking that Turnitin does for me. A lot of those comments I take out because it gets some things wrong from time to time. But in general, you should see if there's any automatic grammar, missing commas, those kinds of things that Turnitin identifies for you. So if I'm Mikael, I'm clicking on every comment just to kind of see what's going on. So great MLA heading and formatting. That's one of the areas that Mikael did very well on in his rubric. Influential should be lowercase, so again, trying to identify spots that could use some grammatical tweaks as well. And so on. I mean, Mikael will click through all of my comments to see what can be fixed, and he can make as many changes as he likes to his original draft. I'll show that in a moment. Notice that some of these have codes to them, so like frag means fragment. This sentence, although it looks kind of long, actually isn't complete. So Mikael will want to read this one out loud and see what needs to be added or changed about that sentence to make it flow better, for instance. And so on. One thing I would point out is that Mikael, once again, did a pretty good job of quoting and citing evidence. I did leave a little comment right here. He doesn't need the author's first name, just the last name is fine. And then I think I left it, yeah, right here, good citation. He just needs to include a period right after it as well. I will also point out that as you're looking, you can also click View Rubric up here in the upper right. And this is going to show Mikhail how he scored in individual sections. Notice his introduction's beautiful, 10 out of 10 right there. His body paragraphs are set up pretty well. There's maybe one body paragraph that feels a little slim that he could definitely tweak and earn those 2 points back. Evidence and commentary, again, fairly good. There's some spots that need to be fleshed out. There's some citation errors to fix. I had a lot of students score 2 or 4s on evidence for not properly citing where their information came from. His conclusion was beautiful, 10 out of 10. And then most of Mikhail's stuff really is just grammatical, just comments that I left in there, sentences that need to be fixed, some spelling errors especially, some capitalization errors to fix. As he fixes those, the score goes higher on this, up to 100% of what he missed. So let's say Mikhail has read through all of my comments and wants to make some changes to his essay for a higher grade. He is allowed to revise up to 100% of what he missed. Those words up to actually means that it's really up to Mikhail how much or how little he wants to fix. If he wants to just fix the grammatical stuff and try to get a couple points back, maybe earn up to a 70 out of 80, that's great. If he wants to make really massive revisions and changes to this thing to aim for an 80 out of 80, that's even better. The way to do that, I'm actually going to minimize this and pretending like I'm him. I'm then going to want to open up my draft in another tab. So I'll go back to the school, log into Office 365. This is probably going to log me in as myself. Good afternoon, it says. And then once again, if I was Mikhail, I'd be opening up my original Black History essay in here. What this is going to allow Mikhail to do is flip between his essay and my comments, so he can make changes one by one. It's going to save in real time, as we know that Office 365 autosaves along the way, until he's comfortable with his draft. Let's say he's totally comfortable, he's made all the revisions he wants, he's going to click the X there. And then it's going to be time to submit the revised copy. We go back to Black History Essay Materials, Black History Essay Revisions, and then from there he can upload his document once again as a new submission. What this allows me to do as a teacher is to pull up both of Mikhail's essays, his original and his revised copy side by side, and see all the changes he makes. That allows me to add in as many points as I would deem fair in revision. So I'm not going to add a second entry into the gradebook for this. I'll just go back to the original Black History essay in the gradebook and tack on as many points as you earn back in revisions. Friendly reminder, I am giving you the rest of the month of April to make revisions. I think I slotted the last day for it to be our virtual Monday. That is Monday, May 2nd, as a day to focus on that, especially. After that point, I just want a chance to focus on getting revisions into the gradebook as we close out the semester in May. I would say, if you are struggling with your Black History essay, just if you've never got it turned in the first place, you need to start coming to see me for extra help before school or after school, so I can help you with that. I'm also willing to help, happy to help even, with revisions too. So if my comments aren't making sense, or if you really need more guidance on how to fix up your Black History essay for a higher grade, please come see me. My doors are open before school every day, after school most days as well. As the weather starts getting nicer, I might try to get out and play some soccer some more after school, but I will say that you guys are more important than that. So once again, communicate with me. Come see me for extra help if you need it, as it pertains to fixing up this essay. Later.